Welcome, low ego action heroes. This is Debbie Levitt from deltacx.com. We're a full service CX and UX consultancy, and welcome to our Friday stream, Practicing Critical Thinking, which we do every Friday at this time. Of course, before we get too far in, hello. Must be I-10 because it's helicopters, but it says your name is Rainy Day. Happy Friday. You're drinking whiskey. Okay, you're going to need it. I know, I recognize the helicopters. And of course, let's start straight off by thanking all of the people who are donating to the channel financially, which is completely optional but always appreciated. You can join here on YouTube, and you can also use super chats, super stickers, and super thanks, for which I super thank you. Today I'm having a wild hair day because there's a storm passing over and it's kind of humid. So if I suddenly disappear, that probably meant the power went out. Not that my hair has taken over the show, but I think that's also possible. So yeah. I've got my 70s Kate Bush Lionheart look on, I would say. Go check out the cover of Lionheart. I think I look like that. Well, I wish I looked like that. Hello, Kayleen and Tybalt and everybody else. So let's just jump in because y'all sent so much stuff for this week's episode that it is overwhelming. And let's remind everybody that if you would like to send something in for one of the streams, visit deltacx.com/links. It's always up here in the corner. And let's try again. Me too. No, it's the storm. It's the storm passing over. My internet keeps blipping. I hope everybody's seeing me now. We'll do our best. If it gets really bad, we'll just have to reschedule for next week. But I think I'm back. We have a really bad storm. If you want to go check the weather radar over northern Sardinia, you may check. Hi, Darren. Hi, Vanina. Hi, Kate. Sorry that my internet is a bit wonky today. We have a bad storm passing over. Hopefully it will get better, but I'll watch the chat room. If it looks bad, let me know because it's hard for me to know what you see. But we've got a lot of stuff, and let's jump in and get through as much of it as we can. Thanks, everybody. You're very sweet to jump in on that. So let me switch to this, which should be my screen. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so here's me, the optional tip jar, the chat room, and of course my private browser with the things that you've sent in no particular order. And I think we have 12 of them, so I will do my best to get through stuff. I wonder if I can adjust this window and maybe keep a little bit of an eye on my stream. No, that's not going to help. All right, let me know. Okay, so this is from Jeremy Schwark, PhD, human factors engineer at Google. Don't know him. He said, want to set yourself apart from the crowd in human factors or UX research? Read at least one relevant peer-reviewed article per week. There's been a lot written on how young HF and UX are as scientific disciplines, and even more written on how the science is frequently and systematically butchered. I think one reason people have this view is an overemphasis on tools and underemphasis on collective knowledge. Being able to execute 20 different methods to perfection is great, but knowing and learning from what's already been done will push you even further. I recently reviewed a journal article that was well designed and well written, but the literature review is almost non-existent, and the authors missed an entire topic of related research that invalidated their results. Unfortunately, this isn't uncommon in the field. If you spend all of your time reinventing the wheel, you're never going to get anywhere. Okay, so I hadn't seen this, but there were some interesting comments under it, and mostly it was people saying like, hey, not everybody can get to peer-reviewed scientific articles. Those are often behind paywalls. Not everybody understands them. So it's not that I think his idea is bad, but I wonder if we've made these articles accessible to all. And also, if you can execute 20 different methods to perfection, you sound pretty good to me. I don't know, maybe you don't need a peer-reviewed article. But yeah, I mean, I can't say reading articles is a bad idea, but where do you find, like, I wish he said, you can find them here. You know, like I'm always looking for meaningful, actionable, helpful. Tell everybody this is the journal you should read. These are some articles that I liked. This is where you should look. Because just telling me, you know, you should read more things. Great. What things? Where? And so I don't know. So I'm just going to take a quick check of the stream. Looks good. So I wish this person had given us a little more information to make this more actionable. I think the advice is okay, but it's hard for me to act on it because I don't know if there's any particular journals or sources he prefers over others that he would recommend. So don't forget, when you're writing an article with some sort of advice, make sure it's really actionable. Tony, I hope this is better than your stand-up meeting. Hi, Cassidy. Okay, next. And of course, as I go, feel free to ask questions, feel free to comment, feel free to use your own critical thinking and let me know what you noticed that I might have missed. This is Mitch Sullivan, who I'm not familiar with at all. And it says, Darren says, he was very assumptive about that, a problem with many PhDs and as many lack empathetic mindsets. Well, I don't want to lump PhDs or anybody into a bucket as grateful. So is this guy pooping on that? And companies think they're doing the world a favor by employing these people. I didn't get that. I didn't, you know, those of you who have used that image lately, what do you think? You know, do you feel like the companies are doing you or the world a favor by hiring you? Darren's like, I'm going to search for peer-reviewed articles. Yeah, I kind of couldn't find the problem here, so I did think he was overthinking it. He got a good amount of likes and some comments, but, you know, I assume that people are posting these things because they're happy, because they're grateful. Thanks for the follow on Twitch, everybody. Because they're relieved, because their job search is hopefully over, because they're proud, and because they want to make sure you know they're not at that old job. Can't say much about the rest. All right, Janice says, I really am here. Good. All right, let's go to the next one. And some of you might need a 2x to catch up. I think the blip has made us have more lag. So catch up, everybody. This is, and I might mispronounce her. I'm very sorry. Megan Sheminsky. I don't know if I should give that a more Germanic pronunciation or a more American pronunciation. I'm not familiar with her. And her post says, which UX research tools or products were founded by researchers, people who have held a role with research in the title, not product managers, designers, etc. Also curious, which research product companies have a researcher in the C-suite or hired a founding researcher as part of their early team? Can you think of any? Some quick internet sleuthing on the first question reveals user interviews, no. User testing, no. Dovetail, no. D-Scout, no. Maze, no. Look back, no. Respondent, yes. Update, more yeses from the comments. Optimal workshop, yes. User Zoom, yes. Why do you think this is? And of course, I commented on this and I felt very badly that my tool isn't ready yet because that would have won a yes. But I said we also should take a look at which of these companies are posting to their blogs that anyone can do user research and UX research is easy and interviewing customers is just a mindset and stuff like that, because I don't want to support the companies putting that crap out there. And we know there's a number of them on this list who are doing that. So if those are some of her standards, I'd like to add some of my standards as well. Let's move on. I'm worried about the delay. Let me see. How can I easily see my own delay? Let's try this. Just want to quickly check the delay because I think some of you are way back. Let's see. Oh, that's not too far. That's not too far back. All right, everybody catch up. Come on back. All right, let's go back to the chat and me. All right, so I'll move on to the next one because we have so many and a limited amount of time. I10 says, yeah, user interviews doesn't have a researcher. They have customer insights, something that interviewed me. Yeah, I think it's, I don't know if it's user interviews or a couple of those that I've tried to talk to. It turns out they call people user researcher, but it turns out they're customer support and sales together, and they're not necessarily researchers. And I thought that was not cool, but I can't remember who that was. This is an article from yesterday by Jeff Humble, who I've seen in my feed before, but I don't think I'm connected to. And basically, he talks about working in a startup, not having data. We're not really focused on our users. We're not even really supporting our own products. Everything is debt and bugs, and there aren't enough resources, and blah, blah, blah. And then he says, okay, we tried to fix this stuff with journey maps and personas and other stuff, but hey, we didn't diagnose our problems correctly. We didn't make any trade-offs. I'm not too sure what that means. It sounds like the whole thing was trade-offs, so I'm not too sure what we didn't make any trade-offs means. Again, I feel like it's only trade-offs. We didn't concentrate our efforts. And again, I wish he said on what, because I don't know the order takers. Identify the advantages we have in the market. You can't rest on your advantages. Stop doing things that don't strengthen that advantage. I don't know if I agree with that either. Usually we're looking for innovations and disruptions to have new advantages, but okay. Interview internal stakeholders and create strategic insights. I prefer to create strategic insights from talking to target customers rather than more internal people. So I don't think ultimately I am agreeing with this article. And I think y'all tend to send me things you know I'm not going to agree with. So I think this article started out okay, but now I'm not feeling it. Run lots of internal workshops to facilitate decisions. I'm imagining you sent it to me because of that. Larry says I'm frozen. No, should be back. Hopefully everybody's catching up. Am I frozen again? Let's see. Nope, I'm back. I'm watching myself. It's boring. I'm kidding. Larry probably joined late and might be back in time. So for those of you who are watching, just for a quick check, I don't know if you can see the clock on my computer, but I've got 6:49 p.m. Italy time. That should be 47 p.m. on the east coast of the USA. That should be 10:47 a.m. for Larry. So that might give you a sense of how far off we are. Elena says, joined late, seems fine. Kate says, I refreshed. Okay, thanks. Yeah, so obviously, Jeff is recommending run lots of internal workshops to facilitate decisions. That to me sounds like you're very disempowered. If you were empowered as a researcher or a designer, you wouldn't have to run lots of workshops for decisions. You would be able to make a decision and then share that decision. Or where a decision has to be shared, you have a meeting. It doesn't have to be a workshop. I was just saying to someone today, not every meeting between more than two people has to be a workshop. To me, it's not a workshop if we're not doing exercises. Sometimes it's just a meeting. Design artifacts and policies that leverage our position. Maybe, but that sounds a little manipulative, so I wish he had cleared that up a little bit. Edit the strategy ruthlessly and make trade-offs. Again, I think a lot of this advice is unfortunately too general. It's hard for me to say, awesome, now that I read this, I'm going to go edit my strategy ruthlessly and make trade-offs. I don't have a good sense of what he means. I need some better information here to understand what and why. So I think this comes off a little bit clickbaity because it sounds like on the surface, it sounds like good advice. But when I stop and think about it, I realize I have no idea what to do. So I'm just going to end here and let's go to the next one. Again, for those of you who do a time check, it's 49 past the hour here. You might be way behind earlier in the stream. Come on and catch up and join me live. So someone sent me another Iona Talks. Is she Iona? I don't know. I really don't watch her. I should probably watch to hear her say her own name. I'm that bad. And basically, this was a video she released a few days ago, and it was how to improve your UX research mindset. as you can see, I watched a few minutes of it, and I really didn't think this was a good video. I think we've seen one or two of her videos before, and I think we thought one of them was okay, and the other one wasn't that okay, and I thought this one was not okay. So I ultimately felt like this one was not very actionable because she says like, you know, how are you going to get better at UX research methods? Study them. And I'm just like, oh, grazie al cazzo. So I did not think this was one of her better videos. You can go to her Calendly and still see that she's charging $156 for a half hour. And we also know that a lot of these are affiliate links. And of course, that's her choice. So I didn't think that this was a great video. If there was something here that I missed because I stopped a few minutes in, then I guess I missed it. But it didn't really capture me. So I can't recommend this. I'm not subscribed to her. I'm not interested in her. I'm not her target audience. She could be my target audience, but thank you, Nikki. I don't really know her. She says, I get a whole lot of research requests and many of them aren't answerable by user research, at least in the form they come in. Whenever I share this slide with, and I don't see a slide, so I think she should have posted a slide. Whenever I share this slide with colleagues or companies, I see a lot of shocked faces, but also relief when I provide the alternatives. Do users prefer this or that design? Instead, try A/B testing or comparative usability testing, usability over preference. Do people like the app? Instead, look at usability or satisfaction. I would still say usability. Can users use the app? What does that even mean, everybody? So I see her point. She's getting questions that you would think research can answer, but they're not really the right questions. What do you mean, can people use the app? If the app functions, I'm sure people can use it, but that doesn't mean it's good. That doesn't mean we have the right solutions. That doesn't mean it performs well. So usability testing and watching people use the app are going to answer a lot of these questions better than can people use it? Well, what does that mean? How would people use the feature? Now she says, have people used something similar before and what was their experience like? I would disagree there. I think if we want to know if people are likely to use something or do they need it, we've got to go back to our generative research and do some of our task analysis to see do we believe something like this would fit into their workflow? Does it improve a task? Does it complicate a task? How does it fit in? I10 says, I like her posts, but I once checked her profile and projects. I didn't understand anything. Yeah, I have to admit, I don't know. What do users want? Instead, focus on pain points through a survey and solve those. So I disagree there. I feel like she started off so well with talking about doing usability testing, but then when things could be better answered by generative research, it seems like she loses it a bit. So I don't know if generative research is not her specialty, so she's not recommending it, or if she thinks her target audience won't understand it, which isn't fair. So I don't know what this is, because I wouldn't say have people used something similar before, because maybe you're creating something new, and I would definitely not be running a survey basically ever. Is this product, feature, or idea good enough for users? Usability testing, okay. Do people find value in the product? Market research, value prop brainstorming, or product market fit, which again to me would be generative research. If we have good generative, exploratory, discovery, early research into people's behaviors and tasks, we will know what they're likely to find value in, and then we'll be able to know if there's product market fit, especially if we prototype something and usability test that. So parts of this were okay, and parts of this made me think she's not as familiar with generative research, but I'm not familiar with her, so I don't know. Okay, then I got two articles from Lindsay Wallace. I think these were Lindsay West Wallace. I think these were going around LinkedIn today or something. I'm not familiar with her. The first one I got was from a few days ago, and it says, how to research so PMs will listen. But let's cut to the chase here. She says, here are questions to ask PM and your stakeholders, and this is related to Research before you do the research. What problems are you hoping this research will solve for you? What decisions are you hoping this project will inform? What do you know already and how do you know it? And again, these are questions you can ask, or I've seen some people do those as mural boards where people can put sticky notes. Here's what we guess, here's what we assume, here's what we know or think we know, and here's what we wish we knew. Have you worked with a researcher before? Maybe you already know that and don't have to ask it. What went well about that and what went badly? So again, it sounds like these are people you're meeting for the first time, and so you're trying to gauge if they're familiar with UX research. Is there anything about working with a researcher that makes you nervous? What are you hoping will achieve? What are you hoping will achieve seems like it goes a little bit earlier. And anything working about a researcher that makes you nervous. I'm not sure I'd use the word nervous because it's a little leading, but I see what she's shooting for, and I think just say, oh, we see from our board that someone thought that, all users drink 27 liters of water a day. Once we did the research, we found that that wasn't accurate, and it's really this. I think that's very different than Jim sure was wrong when he thought people drank 27 liters of water a day, right, Jim? Kayleen says, can you summarize why Iona's video didn't resonate with you? I only saw part of it, but I felt like there wasn't anything for me to grab onto that I could then go and do. So here, I have it on playback speed double. Let's mute it so I don't get copy strike. What's the background of your project? What's the design solution? What's the problem or task? What stage is this project in? What type of data would answer the question the most? How much time do you have? And what's the previous work? We've talked about these things before. But again, she doesn't tell you how to do any of that. So if this is an instructional video, you're now not necessarily sure what questions to ask or who or how. You just have that list. So I think the question is, who is the target audience? Because if she says that to me, then it's grazie al cazzo. But if she says it to someone else, they might not know what to do. Now she's saying, here's how to improve in UX. And first was, understand what methods you are better or worse at. Sometimes people can't self-assess that very well. Sometimes people think they are better singers than they are. So I thought that didn't make a lot of sense. You might need a mentor or a coach to look in on your work. We see a lot of UX newbies and juniors now who think they're amazing at certain UX tasks and artifacts. And then experts look at their work and they're like, ooh, yikes, no. So I think asking someone to self-assess their proficiency is difficult in a world where most people are not good at self-assessing their proficiency. Then she says, grow in areas you're less proficient in. No shit, Sherlock. Step 1, figure out what you're not good at. Step 2, get better at it. Thanks. I didn't feel like you deserved the ad revenue for that one. So, look at a textbook definition of each method. Find projects to try out the methods. How will you know which methods are right? I guess you're guessing. So I felt like there were things here that kind of like that other article on the surface seemed like good advice, but then I asked myself, how would a UX newbie take what she's saying and run with it? Bend the rules. So she's telling people who are still trying to learn stuff to bend the rules. You might not even be sure what the rules are or how to correctly apply them. And so I would probably suggest that people have a little bit of proficiency and skill before bending whatever these rules are. Kayleen says, by the way, I think Mitch's take on the LinkedIn posts like, this company is God for giving me a chance at life, but no mention of the broken job search process, as if the system isn't part of the problem. I think people are so grateful to get jobs right now, I can forgive them for not being like, but the interview process really sucked. And, who wants to start out a new job with negativity? Hey, Ader, good to see you. How's the new job? So ultimately, I felt like there were things that Iona was saying that on the surface sounded like good advice and you want to press like. But then I felt like, but how can anybody go and do what she's saying? It just ended up feeling very hollow. Kayleen says, at the end of the day, I haven't found better value or content compared to this show's micro lessons. Yeah, thank you. And me either. So going back to Lindsay's article, ultimately, let's move on because the show's half over and we got lots more stuff. I thought Lindsay's article had some interesting ideas. I'm not sure I would ask the questions exactly the way she is, so use your critical thinking. But I would say this is an interesting idea for some conversations with stakeholders and PMs before you're planning research. What kinds of evidence do they need to see? I also thought it was dangerous for her to say, how do you like to be involved in the project? Because to me, that's your call to make. If someone ends up over involved, she says planning, sitting in on interviews, co-synthesizing, some of these things can be okay to collaborate with people and some of them make it seem like they can do the research too. So I think it is best for you to create some good stakeholder boundaries. Otherwise, you might end up with a stakeholder who is hovering over you or wants to watch you do all your work or wants to be part of every moment of the research process. And then you're coming on my show and asking, how do I get this stakeholder? How do I shake this stakeholder off of me? So be careful of some of these things. And then I guess someone went on a Lindsay Wallace spree and went back to an article she had previously on personas. And basically, she says personas should be able to get a team to answer 4 key questions of product design. Who cares about this? Who are you building for? Why do they care about this? What can they do with this thing? How are they working today? How are they currently solving the problem? What's good about this? How does your idea help them solve the problem? I thought it was strange that she was talking to an engineering team about this. And I also thought that I'm not sure personas can or should answer all of these questions. But she says personas help siloed teams build a shared language to argue with when they have to work together. They can understand when they're not aligned on who the users are. Personas can show teams when they need to think with a higher level of specificity. So ultimately, I guess I see personas differently. I didn't really love this article. If you find something in here that helps your practice, then please give it a try. But I didn't feel like there was anything I was going to do differently after reading this. I wasn't going to make personas and then quiz the engineering team on them. I feel like it's my job to tell the engineering team these things. This is who we're building for. This is what they can do. This is how they're solving their problems now because our generative research showed us that. This might be the idea or solution or concept we're playing with right now. This is why it might work for them. This is what they would do with it. So I feel like this is our job to tell other people, not questions for us to ask them. So didn't like this article as much as the other one. Feel free to share your thoughts and comments. I know I'm blowing through these today, but there's so many here. All right. This is Mimi, yeah, and I posted a lot on this one today. So there's a lot to say about this one, but let's make sure that everybody knows what Mimi posted, which is that Google recently published a job posting for a UX apprenticeship/internship for someone with less than 1 year of experience. But what was really wild was that the job description said you must not have taken or started the Google Coursera course. Now, I imagine that might be because they want you to take the Coursera course while you're in this apprenticeship or internship. But I think it is really strange to block people from entering because they tried to jump ahead and try the course. I think the course has something like 300,000 people enrolled, and I imagine some of them are hoping to get a UX apprenticeship or internship as soon as possible, and now they're disqualified. So Heads up, if you thought we didn't like the Google UX course before, and we had a lot of reasons not to like it, and we did a whole show on it, so you can go to YouTube and search for Delta CX Google course. I'm sure it'll come up. And don't forget to subscribe. You've got a new reason to not like it. There you go. So I'm on there too. Oh, hello, I love UX design. I guess, I don't know if did Madalena post a link or something? It's not coming up on my chat. Oh, I'm missing some of my chats today. Oh, weird. I'm sorry I usually read out all the chats. Y'all can see my chat room, and it looks like I'm missing some of your chats. I'm so sorry. Let's try refreshing the chat system. Weird. Bad technology day, everybody. All right, let's try again. Okay, so what's next? Okay, so this is Tom Cotterill, now calling himself Tom Scott. I blocked him a few years ago when I found his posts to be non-helpful, and when I found that he was ghosting a lot of people who were going to him for jobs. So enjoy him at your own risk. Hi! Kayleen says, I'd like to hear from whoever at Google made that decision. Madalena says, it's not as if many people who enrolled in that course did it precisely to land a job at Google. Yes, so true. So Tom Scott, who I rarely agree with, said, it's never been easier to be a UX designer. No. There's nothing. Yeah, the feed was super choppy, had to refresh. No, that was my fault. We've got a storm passing over, and my internet has been super blippy. I don't know if y'all can see this little thing on the bottom left of my screen, but that measures my internet speed, and sometimes it just bottoms out. Ouch. So Tom Scott says, it's never been easier to be a UX designer. Good news, everybody. What we do is easy. Anyone can do it. Yay. There's so many courses there for budgets, YouTube videos, part-time courses to work around your schedule. I don't understand why there are more boot camps popping up. Really? You don't? It's called cash. It's called false promises. It's called cash. Hi, Daniel. Madalena says, oh my God, that post. I think the industry needs more courses, boot camps, or guidance for senior lead principal, and how to excel in this track and the difference between each level. I don't think that's a course, and sometimes that's company by company. How to be an effective design manager, and design executive training. I've actually been looking those up, and there are a bunch of courses out there for that, some better than others, but it exists. So I recently found these. He could too. Soft skills training for how to navigate political organizations to get good design work done. Okay, well, maybe that's my new Transforming Toward Customer Centricity. Hey, everybody, don't forget that I'm doing Transforming Toward Customer Centricity in July. Go to the deltacx.com website, hit the training thing on the navigation, and check out Transforming Toward Customer Centricity. Hey, Peaches! Peaches, we've missed you so. I want to hear how your new job is going and everything in your life. Janice says robbery. Do we really need another course to reach out to people to draw wires? There's an abundance of I'm so amazed when people are still talking about wireframes in a prototyping world. Ader says, can we turn this kind of thing into a verb like he's Jared spooling it? Yeah, that's so funny, Ader. I was thinking something like that before. Note, I say it's easy to be a UX designer, but not get a job. That's just as challenging. Sir, you are not helping yourself. You're saying it's easy to do our work, hard to get a job. Forget it. And then, of course, please feel free to disagree with me. It says, please disagree with me in the comments so that you can bump me in the algorithm. And as I always say to everybody, if you see crap like this, ignore it or hit those 3 dots and say, I don't want to see, you don't have to report it, but I don't want to see this post, and help it sink in the algorithm ocean. Nick says, it's never been easier to create a lucrative following on socials based on false UX information and lack of UX experience. Yeah, just around the time I was blocking him, he was really, really pushing like, follow me and connect with me because I'm recruiting for UX and designers and I'm going to get everybody a job and all that. And then everyone I've heard of, he ghosts everybody. So I think it's a bit of a show. I'm sure he's gotten somebody a job. I'm just not hearing about it. Madalena says the last sentence broke my brain. Yeah, so not worth it. Feel free to unfollow him. All right, next. Oh, Peaches says, new job is way less toxic. I'm no longer constantly stressed and working on the weekends. Woo, Peaches, that's great news. I'm so happy for you. That's fantastic. Yay. I was so worried about you for a whole year. So I'm so happy. Peaches moved on to a better job, and so can the rest of you. Okay, so I think we've talked about object-oriented UX here before, but it's fine if you send this to me again because we'll talk about it again. And Ada says, cheers for leaving toxic environment behind. Yeah, because you started a new job recently. So let's talk really quickly about object-oriented UX. I was first introduced to it in 2017 where I was working, where someone was trying to get everybody to shift into object-oriented UX. Two of the people at in our department had gone for training. They were excited about it. They came back with all of these examples and infographics and things, and they showed it to all of us, and none of us bought it. Nobody else went for it. All of us were like, but how would this work at our company? And they were like, we're still figuring that out. And as far as I know, they never figured that out. And they were absolutely lovely people. I would love to work with either of them again. This is not on them. It was that object-oriented UX didn't totally make sense. And it was hard to tell what was the difference between object-oriented UX and information architecture, just organizing thing into categories or hierarchies. Because as you can see, they're saying you're going to break up complexity by verbs, but you really need to do it with nouns. So as you can see, even on this page, which is supposed to explain what this is to me, I'm not really sure I get it. And we can say humans think in objects, that's fine, but then what do I do about that? What does that mean? And we know that people work in tasks, so how do the tasks relate to the objects? So I don't get it. Now here's a bunch of people with quotes. Ooh, it's helping me dissect a complex system. It's a methodology. It's object-oriented UX is objects first. More praise for it. Well, of course, there's not going to be anything bad here. So ultimately, as far as I can tell, object-oriented UX is some sort of rebranding of information architecture. And I would just say, go through information architecture. I have not yet seen any company successfully integrate OOUX. And I think we might as well just talk about information architecture. So, you don't need special training, which I'm sure they're happy to sell you. Let's see what it costs. $997 for the video course, or $1597 for some sort of masterclass with a certification. Again, if you're collecting certificates, you can get this, but I haven't seen it happen at any other company. And I think that if we just dive more into information architecture, we don't need whatever this is, because I can't tell the difference. Meet the moderators. Kind of don't care. All right, moving on. In a similar bucket, someone sent me this. This says, rethinking users. It's a radical new approach that questions some of our most fundamental ideas about the nature of user experience. Okay, so this sounds like this is going to be something totally new. We've never seen it before, some sort of new approach to UX. So what is it? It's user ecosystem thinking. Anybody having bells go off in their head when they see this? So I put up the clickbait because I'm not sure I have a better graphic here, but like the OOUX, it sounds like we are just rebranding existing things so that we can sell training and certifications. So maybe this graphic belongs here. For sale, for sale. User ecosystem thinking. Again, we're putting thinking here because of design thinking. Really, we're doers. Challenges the notion that simple, direct relationships between people and products are normal in today's socially and technologically interconnected world. Can anyone explain that sentence to me? I'm going to read it again. Can you please explain that sentence to me? Peaches says, oh, my submission. So curious to hear what you think. Manash says, what is the best way to dive deep into information architecture? Read the Polar Bear book, 4th edition of Information Architecture for the Web and Beyond, and read anything by Abby Covert, Abbycovert. User ecosystem thinking challenges the notion that simple direct relationships between people and products are normal in today's socially and technologically interconnected world. Okay, so if I try to remove some of the prepositional phrases here, we have user ecosystem thinking challenges the notion that simple direct relationships between people and products are normal. So we're challenging the idea that they're normal, so we want them to be abnormal? What? Rethinking Users offers a new perspective that embeds all users in a framework of complex linked experiences. These experiences have design ramifications we overlook. Okay, so again, another home page or landing page that is supposed to explain to me what this is and draw me in and make me feel like, yeah, this is what I need. This solves my problems. And I don't feel connected to this. I don't have a sense of what problem I'm having that this perspective or system or framework is going to solve. We're going to inspire designers, innovators, and entrepreneurs to reimagine what user experiences mean for products and services. So using a lot of the type of writing that we hear around design thinking, design, innovate, entrepreneurial spirit. Madalena says, so the relationships shouldn't be normal? Ader says, you might have missed my message before. New job is just amazing. I got lucky. Yes, sorry, I didn't see that. Chihuahua is here and says, remind me of buzzwords like paradigm shift and branding. Yeah, I didn't watch the video. Here's who the authors are. What people are saying about this. So again, it's got a very similar flow to the object-oriented UX. It relies very heavily on people are saying nice things about this. What we should stop thinking of users as individuals and see them as networked beings. So users are not individuals, they're networked beings. So the problem is I don't have a sense of what's going on here. Now, I could try to watch this video. I'll have to put on my headphones to hear it. They can't copy strike me. It's Vimeo. Rob says, user ecosystem thinking 2022. Design thinking 2020. Prove me wrong. Let's see what this says. User-centered design helps us solve real challenges and create better experiences for real people. But there's a problem. When we design products and services for users, we often focus on the ones who will use them in the most straightforward and visible ways. This can cause us to miss the many more hidden and complex experiences people have with the things we create. That's why we invented an approach to help designers, innovators, and entrepreneurs see all their users in a radically new way. We call it user ecosystem thinking. It's an approach to understanding how our users actually interact with products and services and with each other in today's socially, physically interconnected world. Rethinking Users is more than a book. It's a toolkit. It has everything you need to put user ecosystem thinking into action and to brainstorm better products and services. You'll discover users you may have misunderstood or disregarded or even completely missed. Rethinking Users. It's the design guide to user ecosystem thinking. Okay, so that was my UN translator version where I said it out loud as I heard it. I hope it made sense. Kayleen says, are you still taking reaction links? I just sent in another one. Kayleen, the show's supposed to end in 8 minutes and we've got 2 more. I'm not sure I'm going to have time today. Is it urgent? Let's see. So is it the LinkedIn one? Is it the LinkedIn URL? Because I don't even have my email open. I would have to unshare my screen, open my email so you don't see my email, go into the email. Udipta says, is it CX rebranded? Well, that's the thing. We don't even know. And we just watched a 1 minute, 19-second video on it, and we still don't know what it is. And ultimately, I would probably say that if you are doing a good job with research and task analysis, and if you have recruited for your research well and correctly, I don't see why you would miss these users. It sounds like if you're doing research badly or you didn't recruit very well, then sure, you can miss whole segments of target users. But typically part of recruiting is for us to double check if there's some people we should be talking to that we overlooked. So I'm not too sure there's anything fresh for me. Chiwat says, I hope they have a 3-card spread. Yeah, right. Is this, find this in Vegas. Ilaria says, I can literally picture this in the hands of some product managers. Yeah, that's true. I think a lot of things that look like user experience training and certifications are now really aimed at product managers because, and this is really very true about lean UX and things like that, because they found that they didn't get an audience with UX. Like when Lean UX book came out, UX people generally hated it. And so the author ended up pushing it to scrum.org and Safe Agile so that it would get pushed through engineers who, of course, loved how much it disempowers UX. And so I think that you're right, that it's quite possible that this is something that UX people would look at this and go, I think I'm already doing this? And PMs would be like, wow, this is just so radical and new. I'm going to find things I didn't know before. So yeah, good point there, Ilaria. Ader says, I don't like the selling pitch. Larry says, scoreboard baby, what have they designed? Rob says, when someone talks to me about design thinking, that thinking, this thinking, I reply with, don't make me think. Very good. Very good. Yeah, look inside. Yeah, even when I looked at these sections, I still felt like, I don't know what's going on here. You know, scalpels aren't just for surgeons. What does that mean? Looking more closely at complex user ecosystems. I thought we wanted them to be complex. Ader says, what I got from that is just another try on selling a silver bullet for everything. Until now, it has been done wrong. Buy my book and learn the miracles. Yeah, I mean, the book certainly looks cute and well put together with cute drawings, and the cards look cute, but that doesn't mean that this is a good system or that I'm even the target audience, as was just pointed out. Solomon says they renamed current processes to sell cards. I think so. All right, we've got 2 highly controversial things coming up. Y'all knew this one was coming. How many of you did I have to tell to not respond to this post? This is a guy I don't know and had never seen before. And he said, do you know user experience design? Oh, wait a minute. He changed it. How many people noticed that he changed this? Because look at what his graphic says versus look at what his text says. He edited this, right? Am I losing it? Do you remember that? Because originally his post said user experience design is part of marketing, not design. And people ripped him a new one. A couple of people pressed like, but mostly people disagreed and ripped him a new one because he said user experience design is part of marketing, not design, which I thought was funny because the word design is there, which can help make you think it's part of design. I think this must have been edited because now it says user experience design helps in marketing also, not only design. I don't remember this saying that originally. And then he also was trying to tell people he got it from the Interaction Design Foundation. And a number of people went to the link and said, no, that's not what that says. Because I think, because originally he said this, it's part of marketing, but not design. And he invoked this IDF link that didn't say that. So where's the word marketing on this page? It doesn't appear. The word marketing doesn't appear on this page. So I don't know where he got that from. Oh, show full article. Now will I get to... Nope, it's not on the page. So whatever that was, and I've already closed it, 0 dogs. The end. And when you see stuff like that, please, please, please don't engage. When you press like, when you comment on it, you teach the algorithm that more people should see this because it's good. Remember, all engagement is good engagement to algorithms, so you don't want to do that. Laura says he definitely edited that. Yeah, I agree. It said something else. Rob said, man, went to that level to change his attire, forgot the hat on his head. So this is our last one, and someone sent this to me, and I saved the screenshot of it, and it was someone I've never heard of before, new product design professionals, whatever that is. Now, of course, he starts with a bang, UX is no longer a thing. And when I saw that, I cracked up hysterically. I said, well, shut down your account, shut down your UX group, shut down your LinkedIn page. You product design professionals, you've got no job anymore. UX isn't a thing. Don't make eye contact. UX is no longer a thing. But here's what it is. So as you can see, I named this graphic UX is and isn't a thing. So UX is no longer a thing, but it's an overarching umbrella that helps people understand designing for improved experiences. What? This wins for making the least sense this week. UX isn't a thing, but it's an overarching umbrella. Well, hold on. It went from not being a thing to being all the things? An overarching umbrella representing everything? Madalena says, Darren shared an article that says LinkedIn are looking into changing their algos so these types of clickbaity stuff won't be bumped. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Larry says, a lot of people misunderstood my comment to think I agreed with him. I don't. I was trying to level set. Yeah, I was sorry to see you comment at all, Larry, because you just bump it in the algorithm and now LinkedIn is showing me this crap. Larry Marine commented on this post and I was like, boo, I don't want to see this. So good news, everybody. UX doesn't exist, but it's everything. UX is Research Insights Organization, whatever that means. Information Architecture, we know what that means. Product Management, what? UX is Product Management? Okay, if you want to try to land grab that, go ahead. I'll wait. Visual UI UX design. So UX is no longer a thing, but it's an overarching umbrella for UX. UX is an overarching umbrella for UX. Process modeling and interaction design. Safe product ownership, innovation and experimentation, service application, design thinking, methods, and doing. So this is what I would call buzzword bingo. This is somebody who put every word on the screen possible, hoping to get likes. It sounds like whatever this person knows about UX was Googled and kind of thrown together in a bucket and mixed around. I'm not sure this person would successfully be able to explain any of these things, but it certainly wins for comedy. Solomon says, what the beep is going on with these people? Why do they even bother to write this stuff? Larry says, sorry. It's okay, Larry. I forgive you. Madalena says attention and social media KPIs. Rob says this person has watched lots of Jared Spool's videos while watching Inception. Elliot says, hi everyone. Hey Elliot, we're just wrapping up. Chiwat says, looking at UX departments springing up in many orgs, UX is not a thing. It's the thing. It's not a thing. It's all the things. UX is dead. Long live UX, etc. Yeah, so this one won for not making any sense at all. And because I didn't try to find it on LinkedIn, I couldn't see if anybody had commented under it. And then I just kind of didn't care. So that was the end of that. So let's flip back to a giant picture of me. It says my stream's blipping a little bit. Sorry, everybody. Sorry about my bad weather and internet today and my blippy stream. Well, I will see everybody on Monday for Think Out Loud. And again, you can find all the links related to the stream here at deltacx.com/links. But most importantly, if everybody watching right now told 3 friends about the Delta CX channel and they subscribed, we could have 100 subscribers in the click of a finger. And my goal is to get to 10,000 this year, and we're almost at 5,000. So if you love this channel, all I can ask is for you to please spread the word about it, because YouTube is not spreading the word about it. I'm not showing up well in search results, and I would greatly appreciate everybody helping out a bit. Larry says, I saw another post recently that suggested newbies should post with lots of buzzwords to improve their LinkedIn profile. I did not respond to that one. All right, Larry, thank you for that. I do appreciate it. Remember, a lot of these things are clickbait. We're not really going to be able to change people's minds and perceptions. People say these things to be fake thought leaders, and that's it. Kayleen says, I'm glad the storm didn't interrupt the stream too much. I had fun today. Me too. Sorry again about the storm. I'm looking at it. You can check the weather radar for Olbia, Italy. It's not looking good. Thanks for coming, everybody. And again, great to see you, Peaches. Send me some messages. Tell me how things are going. Please keep spreading